Starting over at the age of 40 is tough. It's something I've done recently, and I'm going to talk in this video about how AI is helping me to start over. And I was a screenwriter and director in the film industry in the US, Hollywood. Was pursuing it for a while and writing scripts, and they were getting different places with producers, and I was paid to write some. But ultimately, my first movie that got made, that I wrote and directed, came out in 2019, Amazon Prime and Apple TV. And then from that, I got a gig rewriting a script and directing my second movie, and that was set to shoot in 2020. Now, of course, 2020 happened, COVID canceled my movie and a bunch of other movies, right? And basically, I could see that the film industry wasn't going to come back in the same way, and I decided it was time to abandon my dream, my Hollywood dream, and start over. So I was about to turn 40. I didn't want to turn 40 in the US, basically with, nothing, like feeling like a failure. So I bought a one-way ticket to Bali and moved here. And I'm still here in Bali. This was 2 years ago. So I've been here for 2 years now. And basically started to try new stuff. And then when the AI tools came out, ChatGPT was the first one that really caught my attention, and then I started looking, the image mid-journey generations, and then specifically what did I just say? Image mid-journey, the generative AI tool that makes images mid-journey, and then video generation, Runway, right? And then when I saw what Runway could do, and this was still generation 1, like the first version, which was video to video, or that's the first thing I saw, where like you could take a video of something, say like a glass, right? Let's say I took a video of this, kind of like with a phone moving around it, and then you could put it into Runway and turn it into a helicopter shot of a skyscraper, right? It could turn the glass into a skyscraper and turn the background into a city, a landscape, and it would seem like a helicopter shot. So I saw that, and I was like, whoa. And what I realized is like, this is going to give me a chance to make movies again, which is, was my lifelong dream, and what I worked, for almost, 15, 17 years at pursuing. And so that's the promise of AI, is it will make dreams possible, it will make the impossible possible, and people are going to be able to start over and create their dream projects, let's say, right? Or their dream work, or perhaps new work, or new projects that they didn't even conceive of before, right? But the point is that it's going to make so many new things possible, and I think that I'm trying to encourage people to start to get an understanding of what is possible and what will be possible, and starting to move in that direction. And I'm going to get in more detail in this, right now, because what I see a lot of people talking about online is mostly just focused on the tools themselves, and like, start using the tools, and here's how you use this particular tool, right? But to me, that is, part of it, but that's not like that's not the main part that I would emphasize. I'm going to emphasize right now, which is the current tools, right? It's still early, or I don't know if it's early, but the tools are going to get way better. And so it's not so important that you master the tools now, because the tools are going to change, and how to use the tools is going to get easier. As we go on, the tools are going to get even easier to use. They're already easy, relatively easy, but they're going to get way easier. So don't worry about trying to like figure out how to write perfect prompts right now, or get the settings right, or anything like that. It's not that important, because the makers of all these tools, they are incentivized to make the tools as easy to use as possible, because that's how they're going to get more users, right? The easier something is to use, more people will use it, and they make more money. So all their, so what they're focused on, right, on the, UI side, the user interface side, is to make it super easy to use. So don't worry about being a master at the tools that exist right now. But start to understand how the tools can help you and try it out, and then think about where you're going to go and how the tools will help you. So let me give some examples because I'm talking rather, generally and broadly. Okay, so let's talk about movies since, that's where I focused. If you can start with writing a script, and this could be for any writing, right? But if you have, let's say, a writing assistant, you have a writing team, a writing room, which they use in TV shows, right? That's going to help you to come up with more ideas and get feedback on your ideas and get feedback on your writing. You get other writing that you can give feedback on and combine and make better. And all of this, is possible with AI tools, right? Right now, you can use, people are using like ChatGPT. I prefer Claude for writing any kind of narrative storytelling. I think Claude is better in my experience. But still, Claude is a large language model. And meaning it's very broad, general, like collecting, all sorts of different data that it's using. And what's being built and going to continue to be built, right, and come out are specialized models. So models that are focused much more specifically. So let's say you have a screenwriting, a movie writing model, right? And that will be trained on just movie scripts and, guides of how to write movies and talks from famous, screenwriters and directors. And it'll be specifically trained. I mean, there's going to be more than one, but I'm guessing, usually one will rise and be better, but there's going to be more than one that's specifically trained for this, right? So it's going to be much better than just using, the large language model like ChatGPT. So so that's, again, why I'm saying, like, don't worry so much about the tools that exist right now, but start to experiment with how you would use them. And in the case of, like, what I'm saying is you give the AI your ideas, right, of what you're trying to write. Let's say it's a movie or a short film or whatever, and it's going to give you feedback and give you other ideas, right, if you ask it for it, right? And so then you're brainstorming together. You're going back and forth, and you're saying, what about this? And could it be like this? And they're saying, okay, here's some different options for that. And then you're saying, okay, I like that one. I like the fact that the mom ends up being the killer, right? Let's say you're writing some kind of mystery. And could, give some different options of how she might, go about it, whatever. And then they'll give you a bunch of ideas, right? And so you keep going back and forth, you're brainstorming ideas. Then you can say, okay, take all my ideas and take all the ideas that I liked, right? And you identify which ones you like and say, could you compose this into a movie outline, right? And then it'll give you a movie outline, and then you start, okay, let's break down the scenes. And all the while you're giving it feedback saying, no, I like this. What about this? How about, could you give me some other options for this? And you're kind of you're going back and forth, and then you can continue that process and, break down the scenes and then write actual scenes, write out the script, and you're just going back and forth. And it's up to you how much you want to do and how much you want the AI to do, but it's just, I'll keep emphasizing the most important thing is that you have to be doing enough where it's uniquely your creation, right? In other words, if you're doing so little that like somebody else could get the same, movie as you or script as you or whatever you're writing, well, you're not doing enough, and that's not going to go anywhere. You still have to come out of this process with something that only you could create. So you got to make sure you're putting enough of your unique creativity, your unique, experience, your unique perspective, your unique touch on it. Otherwise, it's just going to get lost in a sea of mediocre AI-generated content because a lot of people are not going to put enough of themselves in it. They're not going to put enough of their ideas or creative touch on it, and it's just going to seem the same as all this other stuff that's put out, right? If you use ChatGPT, enough, you can tell when stuff has just been copied and pasted from ChatGPT, right? I just got an email, and I'm like, I was like, okay, you just copied and pasted this from ChatGPT, So it's obvious, right? So point being is you got to put enough of your unique human touch on it, right? And then the process that I go through now to make videos, and you can see some videos I made on my YouTube channel in the short section, is I'll then, after writing the script, with the help of usually, I've used ChatGPT, but like I said, I like Claude better. and then I'll turn that into a shot list, right, with the help of the AI. I'll say, compose some shots, and then I'll say, no, I don't like that shot. How about this shot? We need a shot of this. We have to see, the close-up of the guy after he says that line, etc. And then I'll take those shots, and then I'll turn them into prompts. And again, I'll have the AI do it, which is, again, why I'm saying, like, don't, tax yourself trying to figure out how to prompt a mid-journey, which is where I'm going. We're going to take these images of the shot list and put them into mid-journey. So don't task yourself trying to figure out how to write perfect mid-journey prompts. I think it's not worth it. You just ask a ChatGPT or a Claude to write the prompt for you. You just tell them what you want and say, can you write a mid-journey prompt for this? Or you can, and ChatGPT has DALL-E in it. You can just ask ChatGPT to make the image themselves with DALL-E. So, but you got to try and see which images you like better. So anyway, I'll have it write the prompt, and I'll give it specific instructions. I won't just say write a prompt for that. I'll say, hey, I want this to look like, a Christopher Nolan movie. So include all the, include the camera type, the lens type, the film, the lighting, all that. I'll give it, tell it to include all these details about what it should look like, and I'll give it the reference of a specific movie or a specific director. And so then it'll give me a very detailed prompt, and I'll get something more like what I had in mind. If you just say generally, give me a prompt, it's going to be, it's not going to be specifically anything. And again, the output will be too much like everything else, right? That's why you got to get specific. And so then I'll make the image in a mid-journey, for example. Then I'll take the image and then animate it in like a runway or some other programs, just depending on what I'm doing. But the point is that this is the process I'm following right now, but like I said, the tools are going to change. I mean, Runway also has image generation, and they're making that better, and text to video is, also something they do, and other apps do too, and that's probably going to get to the point where you won't have to, or you may not have to do the images first and animate images, but you just go straight from the a text prompt to video, and that'll work really well. Supposedly, Sora is going to be, amazing at that. We'll see when it actually comes out. Obviously, demo videos are always make the thing seem better than it actually is. So I'm not freaking out quite as much as everyone else is about Sora, because the demo videos they showed us are, a handful out of a million, right? They're like 10 out of a million of videos they generated. So yeah, they chose the 10 best ones or whatever, and they look great. So it's going to be great, I'm sure, but not quite as great as it's being made out. But the point is, it will get that great down the line, right? Within, who knows, years, months even. This stuff is all moving so fast. But the point is, or let me make a point, because I've maybe made several points, is that start thinking about, if I can make movies, right, which you can't really yet. You can make videos, and you can see, not just from me, but other people that have made them. And again, not from the company. Don't look from the company. You got to look at people that make them, because that's more, accurate to what you could do. Look at that and see, okay, this is where it's at now, and maybe do some experimentation and try it, but think about where it's going. And it's like, okay, if I can make movie quality videos, whether it's a full movie or not or whatever, then what do I want to do with my life, right? In other words, if you really want to make movies, or you want to make video, shorts, or some kind of series of, like a TV type series of whatever length episodes, then start developing your skills to make that now, right? And the skills you need are not going to be the AI tools. Like I said, the AI tools are going to be super easy to use. That's not the skills you got to develop. You got to develop the other skills needed to make movies, right? You got to develop your writing skills, your screenwriting, your story skills, your storytelling skills, your directing skills, right? These are and if you're going to be a one-person shop, then your cinematography skills also, meaning not skills in the sense of you're going to be actually going out and lighting and shooting the movie, because you won't. You'll be using the AI, but you have to develop enough skill that you can discern how good something is, right? Think about someone who's skilled at anything and the difference in how they can tell how good something is. Let's take a, sort of an obvious example, wine, right? You give 5 people the same glass of wine and one of them is a wine expert, they're going to know how good that glass of wine is versus everyone else is probably not going to know how good they'll be like, all right, it tastes like wine, it seems good, whatever. And that person, the expert's going to be like, nah, it's a little too dry, you're right, it's a little too fruity, whatever. And so the same thing with anything, right? So in order to make good movies, even with AI doing a lot of the heavy lifting, you're still going to have to tell, okay, is this a good story, and how can we make it better? You have to know how to make it better and direct the AI to do that. And then same thing with directing, choosing shots, cinematography, how does the visuals look, right? You're going to need to know that. So those are the skills to work on. It's like it's like seeing what is going to be capable with AI, and I'm focusing on movies, but obviously there's many other things you can do with this, right? Write novels, write books, right? And there's going to be, who knows how many millions of AI generated books, which there already are, a ton. They're going to be absolute crap, right? But if you have a good writer at the helm, someone who does have good writing skills, good storytelling skills, they're going to be able to put out a lot more books with the help of AI because they'll just be able to move much faster, and they'll be good, right? Because you have a good writer at the helm, and they're going to guide the AI properly. They're going to choose right, what is better, and then they're going to improve things themselves and feed it, like I was saying, their unique voice and style and experience and perspective and all that, right? So I'm going to end this video now by just saying the point I'm trying to make is AI is going to make so many things possible. So start looking at and thinking about what's going to be possible in the future with AI, because it's all moving very fast. It's not that far away. We're not talking about like 20 years. We're talking about in a few years, there's going to be way more possible than now already, right? If you look at how fast it's moving, how much better ChatGPT has gone since it came out and all that. And so look at what's going to be possible, then choose where you'd like to end up, right? Like if you'd like to end up making movies or writing books or making digital art, making, anything. I'm focusing more on art and movies because that's my jam. But think about what you want to do.